Woof woof, and thank you for joining us in the first episode of the Maddogg News Network, the only channel that can't afford a table. And if you're wondering, yes, I did cut myself shaving before I started filming. In this week's top story, Spider-Man has a new costume. After swinging from panels for nearly 60 years, the wall-crawling menace that we here at the Maddogg News Network don't condone the actions of will soon find himself in a different designer spandex. Soon to be debuting in issue 62 of Nick Spencer's ongoing The Amazing Spider-Man run, the news was confirmed directly by Marvel. The suit, which was designed by Dustin Weaver, was created with the intention of making something that looked both futuristic and classic. However, when polled on our Instagram page at Maddogg Comics, only 29% of voters said that they loved the new design. Whether or not the suit will win over fans when it debuts in March is yet to be seen. In other news, the first major superhero movie to be released since the coronavirus pandemic started has now been released with WW84. It set records of a $16.7 million domestic opening weekend, which fell drastically short of the $103.3 million of its predecessor back in 2017. However, given the circumstances, that is to be expected, and it still managed to set a record during this pandemic. And that number did climb to where it currently sits at $28.5 million in the first 10 days since its release, with a further $90 million being scooped up overseas, but this did debut earlier. But we are yet to have the streaming numbers confirmed by HBO Max. Responses to the movie itself have been mixed, with it currently sitting at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. And yes, since I'm based in the UK, it's tomatoes and not tomatoes. And the audience score was only slightly higher at 74%. The general consensus is that it fails to live up to its predecessor, but at the same time it still offers something for audiences. Despite the box office figures and the critical response, it's already been confirmed that there is a Wonder Woman 3 in production. Patty Jenkins has already confirmed to return to directing the threequel, but when this will happen is unconfirmed. She's already connected to Disney with the Star Wars project Rogue Squadron. As of this time, we don't have any further details about the threequel confirmed, such as the time when it will take place or any villains that are set to appear. And in DC news, the debate that's waged between fans on which identity is better is going to come to a drastic halt, as Tom Taylor has confirmed that Barbara Gordon will be both Oracle and Batgirl in the ongoing Nightwing series that she's due to appear in. The series, which will start with issue 76 in March, is said to be a new status quo for the character, as confirmed by Taylor himself in a recent Games Radar interview, as fans have been delighted to hear that the duo will be fighting crime together in Bloodhaven in the upcoming issues. In what will be disappointing news to many, Zack Snyder confirmed recently that he has no further plans to work within the DCEU. Although many are eagerly anticipating his director's cut of the Justice League movie from 2017, he has now stated that he feels like the DCEU has moved on to become its own thing. This was confirmed through a recent interview with Comic Book Debate. His original 5-movie plan that was derailed by the tragic death of his daughter is now said to be something that he's put behind him. Whether he will change his mind after the Snyder Cut has debuted later this March on HBO Max is yet to be seen. In other HBO Max news, Walter Hamada was quoted as saying that riskier films such as Batgirl and Static Shock may debut on HBO Max. The former, which originally had Justice League co-director Joss Whedon attached to the title, is now looking for a female director to lead the film, while Static Shock has Michael B. Jordan producing the film, who you might recognise from Creed and My Girlfriend's Fantasies. And in what is heartbreaking news to many and made this news anchor cry, is that Power Rangers is unfortunately leaving Netflix. Depending on where you're located, on either January the 1st or February the 1st, the majority of the 27 seasons will unfortunately leave the streaming service, which means you have less than a month to catch up on some of your childhood favourites, which this news anchor would recommend either Power Rangers Time Force or Power Rangers in Space. In other Power Rangers news, Boom Studios announced a new Kickstarter. There will be a limited edition 6 hardcover set of the main 57 issues of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, starting at $500. $500? Yes, starting at $500 you can get one of the 3 tiers of this set, starting off with just a standard hardcover, then upgrading to a slipcase, and then the Megazord edition, which comes with some kind of clear acetate. And to our dear viewers, please refrain from asking me if I'm tempted to buy that set, because the answer is definitely yes. And just in between topics, I'd like to remind you that if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, you couldn't join the Dog Pound at a better time, so make sure that you click that subscribe button down below and click the bell notification so that you never miss a video. I can assure you that Marcus the Mad Dog Townsend will be back this Friday with his poll list for January. And as this is a new series, it would greatly help everybody here and keep the lights on if you'd share this in any groups or with any friends that would be interested in it. But let's get on with the rest of the news. There is perhaps some concerning news that comes from the set of Wandavision this week, as director Matt Shakman told SFX magazine, "We wrapped with very little time before the show has to air, so it's going to be a mad sprint to the finish line, even more so than many Marvel Studios films have had. We're yet to fully understand if the present tense of that sentence is a cause for concern. But with less than 2 weeks before the show debuts on Disney Plus, we don't have to wait long until we get our answer. In other entertainment news, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show is rumoured to feature Patriot, who some of our viewers may recognise from the Young Avengers. The speculation, which comes directly from Murphy's Multiverse, claims that cast member Elijah Richardson is set to play Elijah Bradley. Whether this is in a cameo capacity or like myself if the character is due to suit up is yet to be confirmed. After originally being pushed back from summer 2020, it's due to premiere this March. And the most breaking news that we have, due to the fact that I'm only going to do this video series once a week, Jeff Lemire confirmed in his newsletter that Ascender, the Image title that's the sequel to the Descender series, will come to an end later this year with a double-sized 18th issue. Lemire also confirmed that all scripts have now been completed. He also confirmed that Family Tree will also see a conclusion with issue 12 later this year. And Black Hammer, Jeff Lemire's series at Dark Horse, will also be condensing down its output to just one single title with Black Hammer Reborn. Lemire says that he's taken this decision as he wants to use the world building that is established in the other titles to focus on just one story. But more details will be provided in the future. In the bumper newsletter, he also confirmed that he's already completed 2 DC Black Label titles that are due to start later this year. One of which will be drawn by Doug Mahnke, and yes, I'm not sure if I'm saying that name correctly, and the other is yet to be confirmed, but we are waiting further news on this. And if that wasn't enough news for you Jeff Lemire fans, he also provided further details on Snow Angels, a title that he recently announced with Jock. He announced it will be 10 issues long and will first be published digitally through Comixology and then later see physical releases. The Maddogg News Network is unsure if that physicality relates to single issues or if that's going to be a collected edition once the series wraps. And those are all the main news articles that we've got, so it's over to our weatherman who's got the forecast of all the comics that will be coming out next week. Thank you for that one, it's me the agitated puppy and I'm here with your weekly forecast for the comics that are coming out. So this is for the week of January 12, 2021 and hopefully there's going to be no further delays for any of our viewers that are in the UK. Hopefully Diamond's got the shit together and now you can get your books on time. It is my first week on the job, so hopefully I do a good one, but we're just going to get into it. And looking at this, firstly we've got DC Comics, who's coming in with their second week of the Future State event. So as you can see here, we're starting it off with Dark Detective issue 1, we've also got Justice League, we've got the Teen Titans, Green Lantern, Robin Eternal, Superman/Wonder Woman and Kara Zor-El. And it gives you a little cheeky comment there that says Superwoman in case nobody knows who she is already. So that's the first issue for all of them, so feel free to jump into it if you want to see what Future State's all about. Then as you can see here, coming from the west, we've got Marvel Comics, who's got their King in Black event. So if you want all the tie-ins for this, you're going to have to pick up Gwen vs Carnage issue 1, Planet of the Symbiotes issue 1 and Thunderbolts issue 1. But the world doesn't stop for the King in Black, so also we've got the Amazing Spider-Man issue 57, we've got the Immortal Hulk issue 42, we've got the Marauders issue 17 and Darth Vader issue 9. Also we've got a second issue from S.W. Just call it Sword. It says S. Fucking amateur. Okay. So we've got a second issue from Sword. That's all your goings on that you need to know about from Marvel. But if you're looking for your major Marvel titles and you also want to keep up to date with the King in Black event, those are all the ones that I'd recommend picking up. Now looking at our other studios, we've got 7 Secrets issue 6, which is really difficult and confusing to say. We've got the 4th issue of American Vampire 1976. You've got Mighty Morphin issue 3, which is one of the titles that you're going to need to collect if you're caught up in that Power Rangers hurricane. And in case we haven't talked about Jeff Lemire enough in this episode, we've got Sweet Tooth the Return issue 3. We've also got some debut issues, the first one being Haha, and that's not me laughing even though you know I'm a cheeky chappy, that's the new Image series that's coming out. It's written by the writer of Ice Cream Man and it's got the artist from Redland, so that might be one that you want to put on your radar. And we've also got the first issue of Serial, which is the latest series from Abstract Studios and Terry Moore. But those are all the books that I think you need to know about. I'm going to pass it back over to my co-host now, but thank you for tuning in and remember, woof woof, idiot. And with that, it's a wrap on our debut episode over here at the Maddogg News Network. I can assure you that everyone here will be working tirelessly to ensure that this series continues to improve and just gets better over time. Because this series is being created for people who want the omnibus equivalent of the news. Maybe you don't have time to keep track of it every day, but that's what I'm here for. But if you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you like the video, share it in any groups or with any friends that'd enjoy it too, and make sure you put your paws all over that subscribe button and the bell notification if you're new here and you want to make sure that you're a part of the Dog Pound. And check out our social media links in our Reddit page r/Maddogg Comic community to make sure that you can take part in any polls and just be a part of the conversation. And from everybody here, we hope to see you next week, but until then, just remember to stay mad. Dogs, woof woof.